A female bishop of the Episcopal Church of Washington just called out President Trump and J.D. Vance to their face. This was done at a post-inauguration day service, and it took place at the Washington National Cathedral. Take a look at this.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you, and as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Right after the service, Trump was stopped and asked, what did he think about the sermon? Here's what he said.
Mr. President, what did you think of the sermon?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They could do much better.
So if you couldn't hear him, he said he didn't like the sermon and he thought that they could do a lot better. Now, a whole lot can be said here. Whether or not the Episcopal Church is an actual church, whether or not women can be bishops, whether or not her message was actually accurate, and also whether or not it was orthodox or heretical. I'm sure in the days to come, people are going to be addressing those questions. And so rather go down the very predictable route here, let me try a new angle. I find it fascinating. So-called bishop of the so-called Episcopal Church on the first day that President Trump was president called out Trump to his face because she was convicted enough about her beliefs, whether they're right or wrong, to the point that she would call out Trump to his face. Now contrast that with 4 years of the Catholic bishops of the United States failing to rebuke Biden to his face for supporting all sorts of things contrary to the very faith that Biden proclaims to believe in, the Catholic faith, most notably his support of the murder of many innocent infants. And so here's my question. Why is it that a woman who isn't a bishop, who belongs to a church that doesn't go back to Jesus Christ, had the cojones to call out Trump, regardless of whether she's right or wrong, and yet the Catholic bishops who go back in succession to the apostles didn't call out Biden to his face in 4 entire years. Instead, they gave him a pass and allowed him to receive communion every Sunday. Why is it that liberal heretics have more conviction and more faith in their liberal heirs than the Catholic bishops in the United States seem to have in their own faith and in the message of their own church? It seems to me that if Catholicism is going to survive in the United States, the bishops of the Catholic Church in the U.S. will have to have at least as much conviction in their own faith as liberals do in their heresies and errors. And now that I've stirred the pot and upset almost everyone who's watching this video, for the few of you who actually appreciated it, go ahead and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. I really would appreciate your support. We'll see you soon. God bless. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and if you want to support the channel, visit patreon.com/Reason and Theology.